YouTube, it is of course your favorite game here, Above Average Cody, coming at you with a fun little video in regards to what a GA or a gentleman's agreement is. Here, specifically on Halo Infinite, we're going to talk about what it is in case maybe you've encountered the term and you don't already know what it is and how it affects the gameplay. And then we're going to talk about how it ends up affecting regular players like you and I in matchmaking, and why you should even care or not care what a GA is and what is or isn't being GA'd. So first off, let's get into what GA even stands for. GA, as I already mentioned, stands for Gentleman's Agreement. Basically, it is a thing in esports where an item or a weapon or perhaps even a map will still be within the game that the pros are playing in said esport, in this case Halo Infinite. It will still be active, you can still do it, but basically the league has agreed to not use it. Now, what is currently GA'd and why is this even coming up as a topic in my chat during the live streams, guys? Basically, the energy sword and drop weapon have, and including the mangler too, those three things have been GA'd or gentleman's agreemented out of pro play, basically, which means the sword will still spawn on recharge, you can still drop your weapon, and the mangler will still be on the wall. But basically, all of the pros have agreed that during pro play, not to pick up these weapons, not to use these weapons, so that they do not play a role in the gameplay at all. So that's the basics on what a gentleman's agreement is. You see this, I believe, in nearly every esport. I know Call of Duty GAs a lot of things, guys. They even have a GA committee, being a franchise league. They have a group of players selected to basically map out, decide what seems unfair, and then just remove them from pro play altogether. Now that you understand what a gentleman's agreement is, I'm going to tell you why these GAs even come up in pro play, because you would think, oh, the developers already take out everything that's unfair. Some things don't seem unfair until you play a game for quite a while. And then also sometimes things that seemed fair at one point can start to feel unfair after using them over and over or dying to them over and over again. So the whole idea of competitive is to have it as fair as possible. There may be different variations of things you can use. There may be different ways you can go about using them, but every player has the equality in game to be able to use these things evenly. And if something seems a little too unfair or OP or overpowered, you definitely heard that term if you game a lot. As things start to feel overpowered, or if something seems overpowered off the bat, before the developers even have time to possibly remove it, depending on the esport, the pros will be like, all right, guys, we cannot wait for this to be taken out of pro play. We need this out now, and then they will GA it or gentleman's agreement it. Now, what really affects you and I, guys, we're going to get into how this ends up affecting regular matchmaking. Because, of course, if you've played any ranked games on Halo Infinite, guys, you can still drop your weapon, you can pick up the energy sword, and there is going to be no repercussions. You're not going to get in trouble. You may get some angry person in game chat talking about you in a negative way, but that's pretty much the extent of this is going to be. So basically, for face value, a GA does not affect a regular player at all, guys. It really does not. Where it starts to affect the regular players in matchmaking, because it kind of indirectly affects you. I'm just talking like face value, like directly. You can pick up all these weapons and you're not going to get in trouble. You're not going to get banned. Nothing's going to happen to you. But how it starts to affect matchmaking, guys, is people who are very big into pro play for whatever game they're playing. Again, in this case, Halo Infinite, guys. I'm big in the HCS. I do the same thing with Call of Duty, guys. I tend to follow the GAs. By no means am I a pro. By no means am I necessarily good enough to be a pro. Maybe one day. But I just... call me a wannabe. I enjoy following the GAs. The only thing that becomes a downside for me is that the enemy team will not be following the GAs probably 90% of the time. Even a lot of players that are into pro play will still pick up the weapons because to them it is a part of the game. And trust me, I'm going to kind of take a fence argument here, kind of in between. Like, I understand the people that want to follow the GAs and believe that if the pros think it's unfair, we shouldn't be picking up in ranked. But I also understand the side of it's still in the game. It's still part of the game. I've used it all of this time in ranked, so who says I just can't use it now? Halo. I understand how some people do find that kind of silly, guys. And I mean, that's kind of where the gray area comes in with these GAs in matchmaking. You'll see a lot of people like take the sword and huck it off the map. They won't drop their weapon, even though it's a really flashy, high skill thing to do. They just won't do it. And then some people will do it. And I mean, it is kind of a toxic way that it affects matchmaking, because this is where I probably truly stand with it, guys. And I believe you should use whatever you want. If it is still in the game, you are allowed to use it. If the developers do not feel the need to change ranked such that it follows the pro play weapons and GAs and all that stuff, then so be it. Then if you're playing regular ranked, you are not doing pro play, and you may use it whatsoever. But the other side of the issue is people who are following the GAs to such a T that they will say negative things to their teammates, they'll say negative things to the other team, and I completely understand that maybe you compete on the side, maybe you're entering the opens on weekends and things like that, and you follow the GAs in your ranked play so that you don't screw up and make a mistake in the pro play, which, by the way, guys, the pros will not get in trouble if they do this in pro play, but it is like the ultimate amount of disrespect to break a GA, and you are going to have a lot of higher-ups in a league on your back if you end up breaking these GAs, especially if you were at the front of the line screaming, "Let's GA this." But I don't like when people feel the need to scream at their teammates or scream at people in game chat or post in the game chat or invite you to a party just to roast you for picking up weapons. Because, again, the developer did not remove them. Just because you feel like you have to follow the GAs in matchmaking does not mean that everybody has to follow the GAs in matchmaking. So I feel that's where it kind of creates a level of toxicity in the regular matchmaking space. But again, it comes down to each their own, guys. That's kind of just what happens when you get into a competitive setting in a game. Some people are going to take it very serious. Some people are going to take it serious to an extent. And I think that's kind of where it should stop. Because if you're not going to take it serious at all, you probably shouldn't be in the ranked playlist, because it brings down the people that are trying to take it serious. But you guys kind of see how I'm going in circles here. GAs in regular matchmaking does create a very big gray area for the average people like you and me who are not pro, but we do take matchmaking serious. What I'm personally doing in game, guys, is I'm not grabbing the sword. I'm not dropping my weapon. It's just one less button I have to make. But I am never going to roast somebody for picking up the sword. I will complain about it. I do openly complain about it on the live streams. You guys have heard it. I've even gone out of my way to grab the sword and throw it into the pit on recharge so that it does not come up for the other team to eviscerate me with. Because yes, I am putting myself at a disadvantage by not using it, because the sword specifically is a very good weapon. It can get your team a lot of kills. But again, I am never going to personally talk to somebody one-on-one and berate them for picking up a weapon that is in the game. It is actively being used in the game, and it can play a very big role in the game. I'm not going to knock somebody for picking that up, but that's kind of just where I stand, guys. I feel like this went off the rails. I did go in circles a lot here, but hopefully for those of you that didn't understand what a GA is or why you should even care or not care, again, I kind of argued it for both sides. Hopefully you're better educated on it now so that it's not as confusing. But again, it really does not affect you in everyday gameplay, but it is worth knowing about it and what it is, so that if you do get that toxic player that is yelling and hooting and hollering about somebody grabbing something, you kind of know why, or you know that something is up, and in the very least, you're educated enough on what a GA is so that you could talk about it and hopefully yell back at that toxic player that is giving you crap for it. But guys, please let me know all of your thoughts about the GAs in Halo, about GAs in general in any esport. Like I said, I know they're very big in Call of Duty. They play a very major role in Call of Duty, and it has been a very controversial topic in that neck of the woods on the esports landscape. But share your thoughts, guys. I'll put a heart on it for the valuable info so that anyone else with more questions on GAs can go down, read the comments, and get help from you guys as well as the video, as we always do here in this community, guys. But please subscribe to the channel. A lot of Halo content. You hear me bringing up Call of Duty a lot, guys. We're going to be going huge on Modern Warfare 2, but we're still going to be doing the Halo as well. So if you're into first-person shooters, I guess, subscribe. Leave a like on the video too, guys. It helps out so much here with the algorithm. And of course, channel memberships, super thanks. Please don't feel like you have to donate monetarily, but it does help out so much if you guys feel so inclined. But that does it from me, guys. Hopefully this video helped you out. Let me know below if it did. And that does it from me, guys. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.